Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the North East Non-League Show, episode 14, Durham City, part 3. Lots of good news to share tonight. Tonight we're sponsored by Beer Watch TV, Sunderland West End, Jade Bell, and also Durham City now, and proud to support If You Care Share Foundation. And join us tonight, we have Chairman Gary Hutchinson, Manager Wayne Greziak, and Assistant Manager Brian Barber. Lads, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having us.
Like I say, it was just me and Brian in the chat there before. Says I don't know how he's the kind of fit us in. Honestly, I don't know where he's found the minutes the last couple of weeks. I can imagine it's been very busy for you.
Yes. Do you want me to go first? Yeah.
No. Yes.
The last couple of weeks, obviously, people are saying on social media and the websites and everything. We've just done a brand new website there. I mean, we put one up initially just to let everybody try and know what was going on and everything.
Yeah.
Keep people informed. But yes, been a hectic couple of weeks, we'll say.
Very busy, but no, like you say, before we kind of get into things, I'm just delighted to be sat here in part 3 and just sharing some good news, because I know the first couple of episodes, especially the first one, was kind of the bad news, but then obviously the second one, it was nice because a lot of fans like myself were sharing the memories that we had of going watch Durham City, and it was nice to kind of relive their memories. But then also now, obviously, even better news coming from yourself. I mean, start with yourself, guys. The past few weeks, yourself, like we just mentioned there, you mustn't have slept half the time. I know you've got your job as a counsellor as well. I mean, how have you fitted it all in?
It has been, to be honest, really busy. I mean, Wayne, I'll tell you yourself, just the other night, 1:20 in the morning, we were still on the phone to each other, just trying to sort different little things out. But I mean, the last couple of weeks, it's just been so hectic. It's been unbelievable. I mean, I started at the beginning, just so most people know exactly what's been going on, what hasn't been going on. And it was about 7:45 in the morning. Got up on the morning and I noticed that Durham City had announced that they'd folded, resigned from the league and everything. And I spoke to Chris Tanner previously, and to be honest with you, he was fine, the things that he wanted to do, but I didn't have the time for what he actually wanted to do.
Yeah.
I just knew that I couldn't fit it all in. I mean, even now, I'll be honest with you, I couldn't do it without everybody who's around us.
Yeah.
But I did speak to obviously a few people before I spoke to Olivier Bernard. And basically said that I would like to go to a meeting to try and to keep the club going. Didn't want it to fold. I'm a Durham lad, and followed Durham for the last 15 years, something like that now. So really, really interested in everything, and just didn't want to see it fold, to be honest with you. And that's how it came about. So we went to Durham FA on the Friday. Went with Olivier. And met with the Wayside League. And to be honest with you, I didn't know whether the club had folded then or what had really happened. It was a matter of speaking with them and letting them decide. Had probably an hour conversation with them, really good conversation. And obviously they spoke to Olivia, things that had gone on in the past, etc. And then they basically come to myself, Gary, do you think you'll be able to keep the club going? Do you want to do that? And I'd spoke to Wayne in the meantime before the meeting and things like that as well. So that's really how it came about. But then it was like the bond for the league had to be paid £250. The Willington situation had to be paid. For one reason or another, Olivia couldn't get hold of Lee. Lee couldn't get hold of Olivia. They were both in different meetings at different times. The amount didn't add up. But that was one of the reasons. We just didn't have no accounts or anything. Social medias and everything was took off us as well. So because the gentleman at Willington only went into the bank, doesn't do online banking, that took a little bit longer to find out the exact figures. Obviously that was done. Olivia paid the league and then paid Willington as well. And once we got that all clear, it was all systems go. It was telephone call after telephone call. on the Friday night. The Friday night, I think I got over 700 messages and actually turned my phone off. It happened after 11 at night. To be honest, most of them were good luck messages, and so it was a hectic few days to say the least. And then over to Wayne, spoke to Wayne. Wayne was obviously interested. Wayne come on board, and then it's a matter of getting players in. But Wayne, I'll tell you himself, the struggle he's had because lots of players are tied up with other clubs.
Back and back. No, really good. But like I say, guys, once I seen your name mentioned that you were looking to get back involved, there was no doubt in my mind that it would be sorted. I mean, I've seen the work that you put in the past, the football cards, just anything to keep the club going back in the past, and now. But that morning when that post came out to say that Durham City was full, you must have been kind of heartbroken at that time.
Oh yeah, it was just totally guttering, to be honest with you, because despite what people haven't wrote, whatever, that some of the old committee in the past have put a lot of work into it, and to see it go downhill as quickly as it did, to be honest with you, I mean, Chris Tanner might have had all the best intentions in the world to make it happen. I'm not going to slag him off. At the end of the day, it's what's happened, and we've got to move on from that. The same with Olivia. People say whatever they want as well, but we've just got to move on. We've got to go on from there. It's just going to be hard because we're starting off with actually zero. The bank balance is zero. We haven't got a penny in the bank. It's so we all working behind the scenes. We've got quite a few people who's sent us messages of support, and I mean, one company straight away, because we didn't even have a first aid kit. Right. Actually sent a first aid kit and some cones through the post the following day. Got them the following day in the house. So that was the first thing that we had. And it was amazing at the support that we were getting. So yeah, it's been, like you say, it's been hectic, but it's still not over. Where I may go into that for sure, but we need funds. We need funds to continue. We haven't got a millionaire bag, and it would be nice if somebody from Saudi Arabia decided to come in and say, yes, we'll help you out, or something like that. But I just don't think it's going to happen, and especially the way things have happened in the last few years. And to be honest, all I'm going to do, and I've said it on social media, is because it's still under the club name, apologise for some of the tweets and everything that's gone out in the past, even though we weren't in control of that. It's that everybody's new at the club now. So it was disheartening to see some of the comments that were going out from the football club.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
So it's it was heartbreaking at the end of the day. Definitely disheartening.
Yeah, and get onto the management team side of things as well. Really interesting. I mean, starting with yourself, at what point did you decide you wanted to come and take over as manager and push the club forward?
Well, as I said, me and Gaz have seen everything that has been going on social media, and me and Gaz have always stayed in touch, and we've always constantly have little chats about football, about Liverpool and Leicester and stuff like that. Anyway, but like I said, we've seen what's been going on social media, and obviously we didn't know what was going to happen that very next day, but we'd already been talking about the actual Durham and the things that have been going on there, and it was not nice to see. And Gaz turned around to me and said, "Look," he said, "if there was a possibility and we could get back in, obviously when it had been everything been released from the wayside like that." Gaz said to me, he said, "Look," he said, "if I was to go back in and save the club," he said, "would you come on board with me and help me out?" He said, "Obviously, I need a manager. We've got no team. Every single player's been released. We don't know what we've got. Then we find out we've got no strip." And it was just like, we're just looking at each other and we're thinking, could it get any worse? You know what I mean? Sort of thing. I said, "Cheers, Gaz, for throwing me in the deep end." But like I said, we got there, and I've played for Durham. I've managed Durham before, and I've worked with Gaz before. And it's not just about managing at the minute. It's about getting this club stable from where it's been. Me and him, Gary, have said, he keeps reiterating it, and everyone thinks that Olivia Bernard's involved in pumping money, and we've got no balance. We're in charge of the finances, and we're looking after the finances. We've got referee fees to pay. We've got Labour Grove, everything to sort out at the minute. Yes, we've saved the club, as such from folding, but the hard work has only just begun, and people, any help would be grateful. Still, I know it sounds like begging, but that's the way we're at the minute. Is we've saved the club. We've got we've got a team on the pitch that are competing. Like I said, some of the lads we have are great lads. They've played one game together, and there's already people out there writing them off, and that's, you know what I mean. But like you're seeing, they've been together a week. Some of them only met for the first time on Saturday at the game, and that's due to restraints of working together and being, you know what I mean, working and not being able to make training and stuff like that. And me and Brian at the minute, we're paying for training out of our own money just to try. That's where we're at. Do you know what I mean? So yeah.
No, it's really amazing. I mean, with yourself as well, Brian, coming as number 2 to Wayne, was it an easy decision for yourself to make?
Yeah, it was. I got the call on the way home from a Wellington game because I was at Wellington previously helping out Mike, and Wayne was there previously. So once we got the call, and obviously Durham being a massive club in the area in the non-league scene, it was just a no-brainer for me.
Yeah, really good. I mean, the excitement last week on social media with the players getting announced a couple every day, it was absolutely fantastic. Like you say, and sharing it, and just everyone wanting to just know who was signing and getting them built up to that first game. It doesn't matter if it was win, lose, or draw. It was just excitement and wanting to see what happened in that weekend as well. Just want to say before we go on as well, a lot of people tune in now, 20 plus watching already, which is absolutely amazing. I think it just shows you the love for the Durham City and the club, and everyone wanting to know what's going on, which is absolutely amazing as well. A few comments that we're going to go through very shortly. If you've got any comments, please pop them in as well. And thank you everyone for watching. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe as well. And just back to yourself, I mean, that little gap waiting for payments to be made, it must have been kind of hard trying to talk to players, getting players to come at that point when you didn't know what a ball to kick the game.
Well, like I said, I can say something here. When obviously me and Gaz took over, obviously the old previous chairman took everything, right? So he took we had no WGS system. We had no way of communicating players. I see all these stuff on non-league zone about, we're tapping up players and stuff like that. We put out a post, right, asking for players to come to us. That's what we asked. If anybody's interested in joining Durham City AFC, then come and join us, and we'll be willing to take a trial. At the time, the club, we didn't know whether it was going to carry on or not carry on. We had no WGS system, whole game system to have a look who players were registered with, or have a look who players, where they were. We knew nothing. Like I said, me and Gaz, we were going off thin air, and we're asking these lads, what do you call it, to come down to training or whatever, come and join us, and we don't even know if they had a club. And that's, I know it sounds bad, but I don't know what we were supposed to do as a club when we have no system to find or look for something to see if that player was actually registered. What happened is, like I said, me and Gaz, there's loads of people. We're getting emails coming in from our system from Pakistan to Iran to Nigeria, from all these players that are telling us they want to play for Durham City, which is like I said, which is brilliant. I'm not gonna lie. But like trying to get work visas and stuff like that to get them across is just not going to happen. And then you're looking locally for players and trying to look local that aren't players that aren't attached, and clubs that are folding, unfortunately. And like I said, it's just been absolutely me. Like I said, me and Gaz were having to go back and forth to league. Is that player registered? And then literally, how long ago was it, Gaz? About 3 or 4 days ago, we managed to get onto the WGS system after getting it back from previous chairman, and we managed to go through every single player and send out all relevant forms and information. And then,
it's absolutely crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
we just didn't know.
I mean, I've run the whole game system for like many years, and it's an absolute ball ache. So I'd imagine starting from scratch, it would be even worse as well. And back to yourself, Brian, obviously, like you say, it's a blank canvas. Some managers, they would love that and just go out and get any players they want. But obviously, the season kind of almost progressing now. A lot of players signed up for club. How was it between yourselves going out to pick the players, as you just mentioned there? How hard was it to try and bring even a squad together to get that first game played?
Is he there?
So for me, sorry, really.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Brian. Yeah, for yourself, yeah.
No, it's been incredibly hard. Constantly on the phone with Wayne, putting lists together of players that we know in the local area, seeing if they are clubs, like Wayne said, and obviously getting them along for training with work commitments and stuff like that's been incredibly difficult.
No, I can imagine. A couple of questions just before I go on there. From Frank Richardson, will City play in Durham City area in the future? I know we're going to get that a bit later, but at the moment it is Labour Grove, but obviously that's a huge step in the future, possibly getting back into the city or around the Durham area, guys.
Yeah, I mean, we've got to be realistically, to be honest with you. We, like I've said earlier on, we haven't got the money or anything at the minute. We're not going to make a promise that we're going to be coming back to Durham City next year or whenever. We've got to stabilise the club first. We've got to make sure that we here at the end of the season, never mind in next year or the year after. So at the minute, no, we need to speak with Sutherland Council as well, see what we can do with Labour and Grove. And in the meantime, still, look ahead for the future. But land's land. We've been down that route before, and to be honest with you, we promised bits of land, etc. in the past. It's never come aboard. So I'm not going to promise anything to anybody because at the end of the day, we've got to be realistic. We've got to stabilise the club. We've got to pay for referees this week, not next year or the year after. So it's going to depend. And I mean, we'll get into it further on in the show of the longer term and the future of the club. But for the short term, the answer is no. We're going to be staying at Labour and Grove. We're going to try and stabilise the club and move forward from there.
Excellent. And there's a new player for you in the comments there. I had to read that name twice there, but Simby Javel, please sign me on for Durham. Got that coming through with you. And a good luck from James William to Gaz and Co as well. I think there'll be a few comments coming in, like you say, with wishing all the best of luck as well. And just goes back to yourself, guys. I mean, that little part when you said that you're going to be taking over the club, but that little bit of wait between the payment and obviously the next step to be made and announcement made on social media. I know I was quite nervous at the point to say, come on, it's got to be a day, it's got to be a day. How nervous were yourself waiting for that point? Or did you kind of know it was going to go through, but you couldn't kind of say until the final dotted line was signed?
I mean, I mean, Wayne was on the phone, Gary, what's happening, etc. I was on the phone to Olivia, is this going through? When's this going to be happening? And you have that feeling in the back of your mind that it's not going to happen. And you're thinking to yourself, how much do you push it? How much do you go in the background? So you're looking and there's people saying, I'm interested in coming, but you don't really want to say, it's definitely going to be happening, and then let them people down, especially at different clubs and different things like that. You don't want to be saying that until that payment actually went through. I mean, don't get us wrong, Wellington were brilliant sport to league. Olivia was fine, to be honest with you. He said, Gary, it's definitely getting paid, but you're going to the league and etc. And it was nervous, very nervous, and you get to the stage where you think to yourself, is it or is it not? And that's how it went for probably a week. But both Lee and Olivia said they spoke with each other. It was definitely going to be happening, and credit to them for sorting it out. Do you know what I mean? I just kept out of that side of it, to be honest with you. I just tried to get them to basically to be together at the same time, so it would be done. The payment would be sorted. That was the hardest bit, to be honest with you. But I mean, they were both regularly on the phone, and I was just the middleman trying to sort it out and to make sure that was going ahead.
Mm-hmm. And Wayne yourself, I mean, like you say, we've seen the excitement last week of the players coming in, and I mean, we've seen that some of the players that you have signed, some quality players already. I mean, with yourself known very well in the non-league scene, obviously Durham City player before as well. Was it easy to get the players to sign for Durham City? Like I say, it's still a big name, isn't it?
Like I said, the name is massive, and Durham City, like I said, is probably not halfway through the season, which has been the sticking point where every club is an established club, and every club is nearly finished. Well, we've probably got 4 months left of the season, and like I said, nobody really wants to be leaving a club when they're playing week in, week out. Even if it's lower league or higher league, it doesn't matter. If you're playing week in, week out for a club that you want to be playing for, then to attract them away from there, by putting 7 days in. It's a hard task.
Yeah.
Now, like I said, the players that I've got in is, like I said, we've got a good squad together. On paper, we have a good squad together. There's some, like Callum Hanna, who's been around the Northern League, is well known. We've got quite a few good players in. It's now just getting that bond, and it's trying to get them together, get them to training, playing together. And like I said, probably between now and the season, probably titivate it a little bit and get a few more players in that, and work on training as well and developing the younger players. We've got quite a lot of younger players that are coming and just started the game, and it's developing them, which is mine and Brian's job to develop the players and push them on. Some of these players haven't even played Westside League. Like I said, his first game on Saturday, one of them played first game, 16 years of age, and he was brilliant. Do you know what I mean? It's just finding these players and trying to push them on. And I know time is limited, and I know everybody's going on and saying, "Oh, well, that Durham are going to go down and X, Y, and Z." But at the moment, if you look at the league, we're 9 points off Shildon, which is 5 games in hand. Everyone says 2 teams are going to go down.
Yeah.
It's all dependent on the FA, but I'm meant to believe that Washington folded at the start of the season. So there was 18 teams in the start of the season. Washington folded, so there will only be 1 team that goes down. Now, I don't know if I'm right or if I'm wrong, but that's the aim that we're working on. So with Washington folding at the start of the season, we have 3 wins out of them, 5 games in hand. Playing Shildon as well, we've got them to play at Shildon, which is a free, well, it's a 9-pointer really. But I'm saying is we've got some big games coming up that are winnable, but obviously we need to develop and get them going now. We've got a game next week, which is at home against Richmond at Labour and Grove. This Saturday is our first home game. And then we've got a break, I think, unless the league put another game out. We've got a break now until after Christmas,
Right.
which gives us another 3 weeks now after the next week to actually push the squad, develop the squad, and see what we can do in them 3 weeks, working on tactics.
Definitely.
And working that way forward, because at the minute we haven't done that. At the minute we've got players in who wanted to come to training, and all we're doing is actually seeing what standards of that they're at. And it's just been a big, massive turnaround of, unfortunately, of players that wanted to come and join. Some of, like I said, is we put it out there when we first took over. Gaz had the old manager's number, and I went and met him. I went and met the old manager. He's a lovely bloke, and he did a lot for the club. He ran it by all accounts. Him and his missus, they ran everything, and they had the kit, they had the keys for Labour and Grove. They did everything from. And he's a lovely bloke, and he said him and Jamie Crook passed my number on to all the old players. Every single old player had the chance to get in touch with me and get them along to training. That's what we pushed that out. I went and met the old manager. I got the keys and everything, and he said that, and we had 4 back in touch out of all them players. So, like I said, we had a big job on our hands of trying to get players in with only 4 there.
Definitely. And just a question for yourself, Brian. I mean, I've been in this manager position myself, where on a Saturday night you're texting ready for a Sunday morning or vice versa. But I mean, just how busy has it been between yourself and Wayne? I mean, I bet your missus or your wives, whatever you have, I bet they've been thinking who you've been texting this last couple of weeks. I can imagine.
Yeah, it's been it's like I said, it's been non-stop trying to get people in, get them across the training, and like Wayne says, now it's just about getting them lads gelled together and seeing what they can do. We believe in them, so like I say, once we get them together more, get to training and stuff, fitness levels back to where they need to be, I'm sure we'll be fine.
That's it. Like Wayne says there, you've got 1 game and then possibly 3 or 4 weeks before the next, after the winter break. It's a good time to bring in a couple more players, get that final squad and get them just on the training field a couple of times before the Christmas break, really, isn't it?
Yeah, obviously we'd love to be training twice a week, but funds just don't allow that at the minute. Obviously, the more support we can get with that will be great, but at the minute we are what we are. We've just got to work with what we've got.
Definitely. And just going on about the moving forward now, and Gaz, with yourself, obviously off the field short term, what is the plan off the field between now and the end of the season? Is just kind of getting as many sponsors, try and get the funds in and pushing on, do you think?
Yeah, like any football club, don't get us wrong. You know yourself, non-league clubs most non-league clubs need funds. They need funds.
Yeah.
We need funds probably more than anybody, because, like I said, it's at zero. But like Wayne says, you can beg, you can do this, whatever. However, we have had a couple of people who's trying to help us. We're going to have a new strip, hopefully for Saturday. Brand new strip for Saturday. That's within a week. Great company turning that round for us. We open to have a club shop to go online. We've got a new website there. Thanks a lot to Charlotte Patterson, who I brought on board fairly quickly, and she's done a great job. Tony Stubbs, who I brought in, I know Tony, I've known him quite a few years, brought him to help us well, it wasn't even as a vice chairman, to be honest with you. It was like, right, we just need a few people on the committee to basically take the club forward. Mm-hmm. And then it was, amongst ourselves, it was more, well, we need somebody really at the head of it. So it was like, it was one of them ones where, Gary, you go as chairman. And that's how it came about, to be honest with you. And then as Tony come on as the vice chairman. Because like I said, with work as well, I cannot guarantee that I'll be there every single week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm hoping to be there every week, but I cannot guarantee that I'll be there every week. But if I've got enough people around us, enough volunteers and everything to help, which is what we've been doing. Darren Nowd, he's a great lad as well. He's come on board. Paul Trotter. Justin Smart, who was actually the old secretary, he's just come back on board on Saturday there. We spoke to him, and he's willing to come back on board to help us out. Like I said, when we were signing the players, you're looking at the WJS system and you're thinking to yourself, right, how do you do it? I didn't have no instructions or anything in front of us. It was just, right, so, right, that's who the player we want to sign, right? We'll click on that. It comes up different names and things like this. You speak to the league. We had one just recently. He played for, he's just signed, Graham Stevenson from Durham Corinthians. He also played for another team. We asked the league, you need to speak to Durham Corinthians. That's the last club he's played for. And then we get told off, well, we're not the one to get told off, but it's mentioned on Twitter that we should have mentioned it to another club. We asked the league and everything, and they've told us the way to try and do it, which is what we've been trying to do. We haven't gone behind people's backs deliberately at all. Mm-hmm. Despite what some people might think, to be fair, if people knows I'm a fair lad, do you know what I mean? I'll try and do it the way it should be done. That's my mistake, because I did that on the WGS system. The league website and things like that, everything was on there as well, and then everything came off there, and I was thinking, oh no, as them players, should they be on there? Should they not be on there? So to be honest, Peter Maguire at the Wayside League, really helpful. There's comments there. We've got something over the Wayside. We haven't got anything over anybody. We're just trying our hardest to keep the club going. Like I say, this is, to be honest, it's probably the easiest bit, what we've done. Mm-hmm. And it's been hard. So we've got a long, long way to go. Yes, like you said, we need the funds. We've got to pay the referee. We've got to put food on. I missed the second half of the game, actually, on Saturday, because I was talking to their officials just to make sure that we're going to be doing things right for when we
exactly.
Next week.
Yeah,
just to make sure. And no, it's been a lot of hard work. And like I say, we've got Paul Trotter, who used to be with us before. He's back as well. I think we've got about 8 or 9, and I've just spoke to a couple of potential sponsors today. Not necessarily money-wise, but going to be helping in different ways and different things like that, which is great, because the more people we've got on there, then hopefully we'll be able to hold events and things like that. But we need people through the gate. It's as simple as that, to be honest with you.
Definitely. A couple of questions that's coming as well. Just James Barrow saying, see you at the lads. And the next question which kind of ties into the question I was going to ask as well. Obviously, long term, it was mentioned possibly at the meeting at the end of the season, see which direction that we're going in. Does Bernard still want to have a part of that, or as the AFC of Durham saying, is there any owner contribute to it financially, or is it just down to yourselves now getting your own funds in?
I knew it was going to come up. Do you know what I mean? And to be fair, I think everybody probably wants to know the answer to that. And the answer is simple. Olivia Bernard there's 2 payments to Sunderland Council. Olivia Bernard, which is for the ground, to be paid in 2 instalments. The first one's being paid by Olivia. The second one is going to be paid by Olivia, which we're very grateful for.
Yeah.
However, all other accounts will not be touched by Olivia Bernard, by Chris Tanner, by anybody at all. It's going to be us. It's going to be ourselves. If anybody knows a treasurer out there, we could do with the treasurer as well. Because at the minute, it's probably my name on there. Do you know what I mean? So it's it's Olivia Bernard is not going to. Yes, don't get us wrong. He'll support the club, but it'll be from afar, and it'll be nothing at all. Basically, there's going to be nothing at all to do with the money. He's not going to be touching that money. It's up to us to raise our own funds. It's up to us as a committee how we spend them funds. But obviously, like I said earlier on, the main things is to pay the referees, pay the food, and get till the end of the season. I've had the same questions from the committee. What happens at the end of the season? What I've said was to Olivia is basically I'll sit down with Olivia at the end of the season, and if as a committee we think we can do it, so that's all of us, not just my decision. That's going to be everybody who's involved on that. If we can go ahead, then we will take over the football club. That's talks that we've got to, like I say, I've got to go on with Olivia, but Olivia's willing to do that. Spoke to Olivia about that. He probably would have handed the club over to us now, and a lot of people will probably say, why didn't you do it? The simple answer is, at the end of the day, we don't know whether we can do it financially and everything ourselves. And we are going to battle. We're going to battle till the end of the season. Do you know what I mean? We want to make this work. We want to bring potential sponsors and everything in, but we need the public to help us as well and believe that it's going to happen, because a lot of people have heard the rumours before. Well, Olivia's in charge of this and it's not going to happen, etc., etc. And I understand where they're coming from. We've been there. It didn't just start when Olivia was here. It started well before Olivia was here. But don't get us wrong, it hasn't helped when Olivia has been here, but it hasn't helped when Chris Tanner's been here. And it's our job as a committee to try and turn the football club around. We want to go higher. We want to do that. We know if we're successful, the next problem is going to be the ground, because we know that we have to improve the ground before we even go into the Northern League.
Exactly.
But the first thing, like I said right at the very beginning of the show, we've got to stabilise the club. And that's the honest truth. We're not lying about it. We can put GoFund pages out. We can do whatever we want. We can have numbered draws and things like that. But if we haven't got the public supporting us, then we don't know what'll happen at the end of the season. That's our commitment to get to the end of the season, to do it all, and hopefully get ready for next season and move the club forward. And that's our aim.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Honestly, I hope it honestly goes to plan. And for yourself, like you said, Gary's mentioned there, stability. I mean, on the pitch as well, sure, now it's just about getting that first point on board, then getting that first win, and just building stability between the squad for now and the end of the season.
Like you just said there, Gaz has hit the nail on the head. It's everything about being, like I said, me and Gaz. Everybody can sit here and talk about it as much as you want, and Gaz has just openly admitted that obviously he could have took the club over now. And that we've had that discussion before, and he's right in what he's saying. He could have took the club on, right? But it's a big, massive financial burden on me and Gary and Tony and Ian Thompson and all the committee members to take that on now, right? That's what it's huge financial commitment. And what Gary's trying to say is obviously he could have done that now, and then we get to the end of the season, and then we get no funding, and then we're left with we're then folding the club, and then do you know what I mean? Because we've not got the financial money. At the minute we're stuck in that limbo situation on the pitch and off the pitch, because at the minute on the pitch, like I said, we can do as much as we want on the pitch. We need to get it right on the pitch as well as off the pitch. And like I said, I think on Saturday we played 4th in the league. They've only been beaten twice. And when they played them last time, it was 10 or 11-0, 12 maybe. But we got, like I said, we got beat 5-0. We went down, we had a man sin binned for 10 minutes. And like I said, we had a man sent off at the end. But it's definitely progression from where the club were to where we are now, from off the pitch to on the pitch. And like Gary will say it, and he can keep reiterating it. I'm part of this as well. As me, Gary, Tony, we're all of this. We want this badge. Obviously, we believe in this badge, and we want this badge to continue. And we don't want it just to go up there and then we're here now and then it just folds. And yeah, we could probably, some big buyer could come in and say, look, we'll buy it off of Libby, but not great. But how do we know? I'm not being funny, Rainey. How do we know that that's not going to go exactly the same as the previous?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying is, how do we not know it's going to go there with exactly the same bloke doing exactly the same thing as what's just happened? Us as people here now have been involved in Durham before in the past. Gaz, 15, 20 years. I remember when I was playing and Gaz used to be the man on the mic. Do you know what I mean? But that's what I'm saying is I remember, and that's all Gaz was. Gaz was a man on the mic. And he used to love that mic, and he'd be at Ferens Park, and he'd go, hey, wait. And Gary's the people that you want involved with the club. Like Paul Trotter as well, and do you know what I mean? Ian Thompson and Charlotte, oh wow, she's been amazing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I've never met somebody, like I said, we've just got a sponsorship with DPD Sportswear. Carl from that. Carl, he's been amazing. He's given a brand new kit. He just formed a brand new, club shop, which is all now sponsored by Hummel. There's T-shirts, jumpers, snoods, which will be going on the website this week. And like I said, it's little things like this that can just, we want it in time for Christmas, like little bits like that will go into our fund and we can try and just get by at the moment. Then we restock at the end of the season, but we need to get it all right. It's not just pointless getting it off the pitch and on the pitch. It all needs to come together.
Oh, it's brilliant to hear it. And Brian, for yourself, like you said, 0 points a minute, but like you say, 9 points just off that team above. The Great Escape, will it be on?
It's the greatest of great escapes.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely, really. To be fair, like we said, we've got games in hand. We need to get this team gelled as quickly as we possibly can. And then there's no reason why we can't start then getting goals and points on the board.
Yeah, and I was just joking on with a couple of friends over the weekend, Brian. I say, honestly, if Netflix had this Durham Till I Die, honestly, you'd be making millions by now. But what a season it could be, man, from what it's almost gone the last couple of weeks to probably win a few games and hopefully stay. It would be absolutely amazing, man, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully, like you say, the city gets behind the team. Obviously, it's not in Durham, but, you know, please come and support the lads. Get behind everything that Gary and Wayne and everyone's trying to do behind the scenes. And who knows what can happen come the end of the season.
Yeah. And Wayne, I mean, even like former players on social media, just the posts that you're putting out, it's all loved by them. And I know I was down watching Southern West End the weekend, speaking to Steve Cockerell, Steve Patton. We've got to chat to Steve Bowie and obviously Stephen Stewart as well, who played for Durham, like Stewart. And they just said, I was mentioning we had the show one night, and they pass on the best of luck as well. It's amazing, just the former players, they still love the club, don't they?
They do. Like I said, there's a lot of clubs, a lot of players up there that I've played with at the club, and they love the club. And they want to, like I said, is like Stevie Stewart and all them. And I remember back in the day, like I said, I appreciate all their thanks. And the non-league footballers, we all stick together, and it's a close knit thing. And like I said, there's a lot. I know a lot of lads, and a lot of lads want the clubs to do well. They do, and it's nice to see that. Obviously, some of them are still playing and still wanting to play, and management now, and it's great. And you had Ian Davison on the other week. I remember playing with Davo and stuff like that. And I mean, it's just Davo was at Durham, I think, as well. And like I said, it's just little things like that. It's just all these lads are coming out of the woodwork. It's brilliant to see, and just hope they keep supporting us and keep continuing to help.
Definitely. And for yourself, Brian, I mean, can you just tell us kind of the plan, what it's been? Obviously, has it been trials for players, or is it just kind of getting the players in for training, or is it just hitting the ground with trial matches, just trying to see what he can get out for that first game over the last week or so?
No, not really. Obviously, we made lists of players that we wanted to try and get in. We had to find out what the situation was with them players. Then you had like people who's actually contacted the club. Had some of the old players, I think it was 2 or 3 old players came across from the old team. So yeah, it's just been not so much trials, just trying to see what we had, and then seeing who was coachable and stuff like that, who we could work with, and going from there, really.
Definitely. And a question for yourself, guys, that just came in there. Does the club have a valuation? Many rumours that has been infused off us over the years. Does it kind of have a valuation? If someone came in, how much kind of would they be looking at taking over the club itself?
Nah, I mean, like I said earlier on, to be honest with you, I've never even thought about that. To be honest with you, do you know what I mean? It's a discussion that I'm going to have at the end of the season. And I don't really want to iterate any more on it, because we've got to stabilise. I keep saying it. We've got to stabilise the club. We've got to be putting a team out there and taking it forward. Do you know what I mean? And if we get the right people in, we're getting people off the field. We're getting people on the field. We know that there's lots of improvements got to be made. We know there is. I think Wayne. We might have another eight people come to training on Wednesday night to have a look at. Hopefully, the good lads. Do you know what I mean? We know what we've got to do. We know, but we've got to improve it on the field and off the field.
Yeah.
And that's our target at the end of the day. You kind of put a valuation on the football club at the minute. I mean, what does it own? To be truthful, doesn't own anything at the minute. We're at the bottom of the Wayside League, First Division. When we came in, we didn't have a match ball. We didn't have a first aid kit. We didn't have no training cones. We didn't have a secretary, a treasurer, a committee person, social media, manager. Every single thing to do with the club. I'm panicking. I'm panicking this week. I'll be honest with you. I'm panicking this week because we need people through the gates to pay for the referee. The referee's probably about 140, 150 pounds. We've got three. If we've got 3 referees there, I don't know. We've got to put food on for the players and everything after the game, for the committee during the game. That money's got to come from somewhere. I'm not a millionaire. All I wanted to do is try to save the football club and move it forward. I work for Durham County Council. I'm a county councillor who gets £13,000 a year. Do you know what I mean? I'm not a millionaire. I just wanted the club to keep going. I wanted to go there on the Friday and say, right, this is what we want to do. We want to save the club. We want to move it forward. Get the people around us, the volunteers, the committee people who's come in. You can't fault them. Every one of them's doing their own little bits, and a lot more than them bits. I mean, like I say, Wayne, the first week, I can't thank him enough. He doesn't realise how much. Do you know what I mean? He's not. He hasn't just been getting players. He'll tell you that he hasn't. He's been trying to sort all sorts of other stuff out, and to try and help me as well. But so's all the others. And like I said, all in the different ways. Tony's he's been trying to do a lot of the sponsorship side of it, to try and bring sponsors in, speak to the old sponsors, because we don't even know what they were putting in or weren't putting in, and trying to get hold of them, to contact them, and then new sponsors, the possibilities of bringing them in. Like I say, a lot of them want to help, which is great, and I kind of thank them enough for, like I say, the first day for a kit, for the first aid kit. It might sound daft for a £40 or whatever it was first aid kit, but to us, we didn't have £40.
Yeah.
So if the lad gets injured on a Saturday, it would have been Without that kit, it would have been actually saying to the other team, "Is there any chance you can go on the pitch?" Which is embarrassing enough. Do you know what I mean? And we want to do it right. We want to build the club up. We want to, as some people say, I don't know whether I can say it or not, but we don't want to look like raggy-arsed Rovers. We want to look like a football team at the end of the day. Then we want to try and do it right. But like, I know the players, they would like a t-shirt, they would like a hoodie, they would like a cap,
exactly.
they would like whatever, they would like £100 a game. Yeah, I would like to be paid for what we're doing, but at the minute everybody knows there's no budget or anything. The lads are battling for the cause, and that's great. It's great to see them coming in. They know the situation, yet they still want to play for Durham, and they still want to play for Wayne and Brian and the committee, and that's great. That's what we want. We want that commitment, but we've got to do it, like I say, we've got to do it off the field as well as on the field.
Definitely. And just kind of going back to the first game, I mean, obviously I was down obviously watching West End, but I was trying to watch Twitter and everything, try and get the updates as much as I could on Saturday. I mean, start with yourself, God, how proud are you just to see Durham City back on that pitch after the few weeks it's been?
Like we said earlier on, to be honest with you, didn't know whether it was going to happen. And I was hoping it was going to happen. But you always had that nerves that it wasn't going to happen. And to actually see the lads come out there. I mean, we went in and it was that bad. We didn't have our league passes or anything. We went in the ground. The groundsman said, "Oh, have you got your passes?" No, one of the other lads is going to be bringing them with us. Oh, yeah. Right, that's £3 then, please, or £3 to get in. Do you know what I mean? It was, but then when you saw them lads actually come out them changing rooms, and you thought to yourself, "Well, we've done the first bit."
Amazing.
We've actually done the first bit. The team's still here. It's still alive. It wasn't alive a fortnight ago, and that's the honest truth. If I hadn't have gone there on the Friday with Olivia, I don't think the club would have been here. Mm-hmm. And that's the honest truth.
Yeah, I think a few people thought exactly the same as well on that one. And just yourself, Will, I mean, the game itself, what was your thoughts on the game?
Well, personally, like I said, first half, I thought we were slowing in the game. We were a little bit. Some of the younger lads were a little bit nervous. Yeah. I think it was a big boggy pitch. It weren't the best of pitches, obviously not. And we'll admit that they tried getting the 4G booked, but obviously weren't expecting rain. And then, like I said, the first 20 minutes. I'm not gonna lie, we were all over the shop. Obviously, none of them, they didn't know the thought. All you can do is talk. We got there an hour and 15 minutes before the game, and all you can talk about is for 25 minutes, talk about what you want them to do and on a piece of paper. To tell them what to do on a blackboard or where you want them to do or where you want them to stand is completely different to doing it on the pitch. And like I said, to be fair, we found ourselves 3-0 down first 20, 25 minutes, and you're thinking, here we go again, sort of thing. But after that, like I said, we stabilised it. We had we managed to get back into the game, and it was quite encouraging. And people will tell you there, I think we were competitive after them first 30 minutes, and probably into the second half, we had quite a few chances. I had one cleared off the line. They got a free kick. Made no disrespect, not on a class side. They're a quality side. They've been an established side. They've got ex-Northern League players in Nicky Martin coming through and stuff like that, and they've got young lads coming in, Marcus Lang and stuff like that. And they're a good side, and they've been beaten twice all season. So for us to, like I said, is to at least give them a game. I was very proud of every single player in that squad, and we can only get better. And like I said, is the players that are having the squad, they all want to work and they all want to be there and they all want to be part of that team. And some of them, that, like I said, they know they've got to improve. Some of them know that they're unfit, and some of them know that they're what they call it, but they want to be there. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
is like I said, they can go and play for any other Wearside League team. And then, like I said, they can go and play for them and go and sit on the bench and get 20 minutes there or 25 minutes there. But they want to turn up here and they want to work and they want to play for Durham. And there's probably a lot more lads out there that actually do and probably watching our show now and thinking, well, I'd like to play for Durham. Do you know what I mean? But like I said, they can't go running to every single club and they're putting 7 days in at every single club. Do you know what I mean? It's not feasible. And there might be a lad that sat there on the bench and not getting no minutes at all and thinking, well, I would love to go and play for Durham. But like I said, I don't know everybody in the Northern League, unfortunately, and I don't.
Yeah.
And it's trial and error. Like Gaz said, we've got unfortunately, like I said, there's a couple of teams folded in the area at the minute. There's a couple of lads that wanted to come from that team. There's a couple of lads coming from another team that's folded, and like I said, is hopefully we can get I've got a mate who's willing to help me out, who's a Northern League player, who's like I said, he's willing to help me out this, so he's going to come on board. And like I said, it's trial and error. It's trial and error, and unfortunately, we don't have a lot of time. Well, we don't. But what we have to do is try and do things quickly, but try and do it professionally as well, on and off the pitch. And to be fair, we're here. We've got a club. We're competing, and we've got a team on the pitch that's competing. And more importantly, we've got a strip thanks to Carl. Obviously, Carl Welps, the old secretary, he managed to keep the old Durham kit, which we played in. And I went up and met Carl, the Willetton secretary. He gave me the old kit. So that's what we used at the weekend. And he had lots of stuff, and I appreciate that. Willetton have been brilliant. And I know Gaz has said it, but Lee and Carl both at Willetton have been absolutely brilliant. And there's no animosity between us and Willetton. We have I know it sounds weird, but I talk to Carl daily, and Gaz talks to Lee. Do you know what I mean? Max daily, and we're a close club. We're all Northern League clubs, and we're all here to help each other. And everybody wants everyone to do. Like on Saturday, Norton, we played Norton and Stockton, and they just they were so supportive, weren't they, Gaz? After the match, you've seen the tweets, you've seen everything coming from him, saying it was brilliant to see them back on them, and it was. And we're going to come out, like I said, we're here. That's the main thing.
To be fair, I mean, it's like Wayne said, really, at the end of the day, we've had lots of support from other clubs, clubs that we've played against in the past, managers. I mean, the likes of, you'll know, Colin Myers, ex-manager, ex-player, and that. He phoned us up, best wishes and everything. James Fairley, player there, another player for Durham. Lots of Durham players, Ollie Hodgkiss, etc. Lots of lads who've been on the phone, and it's not just the lads; it's the clubs. We've had even the likes of Shildon, who's done well for themselves. They've been on the phone, wishing us all the best. Hope you do well, guys. And like I said, that first night there was about 700 messages. It was just like it was crazy. Like somebody was saying, "So what's going to happen next?" And you're trying to reply, but as you reply into that one message, you've got another 5 come through. And it's like you're looking at all them the following day, and then to be honest, I think I was just replying to most of them the following morning, just thank you, and I mean I copied and pasted a lot of it, to be honest with you, and just and just put it in so I could get through them quicker. If I'd probably still been there now, but the support of the majority of people has been superb, and I cannot personally thank them enough. The same as, like I say, the volunteers, the players, and that. We here. That's the main thing. We're still here at the minute. Yes, like I said, we've got to stabilise the club. Hopefully we can do that, and then hopefully we can move forward. Mm-hmm. That's all we can do at the minute. That's all we can do. Just make sure that the football club's playing next week, the week after. Yeah, we bring people in. Hopefully they'll help. We're speaking to different people, and hopefully they can help us in different ways as well and move the club forward as well. And that's our aim, to try to be successful. Wayne's got no targets as long as he finishes out the bottom 2. So he's got no target apart from that, really. Do you know what I mean? He knows the situation. He knows where we are. Do you know what I mean? We've got to improve off the field. We've got to improve on the field, because whatever's happened in the last few years has happened. But it's so heart destroying to see some of it.
It is.
And like you said, how did you feel when the lads walked out? Felt really proud, and at the end of the day, not just myself, everybody can turn around and say we've helped keep Durham City alive. Mm-hmm. The Titanic hasn't sunk. Hopefully we can keep it going there. Do you know what I mean? And get to the other side, and that's what we're trying to do.
No, fingers crossed we will. I mean, a couple of more messages coming there. Crackton squad, AJ. Crackton squad with plenty of talent, just need the time to gel. Plenty of positives from Saturday. And Dean Hudson, keep it up, guys, doing a great job. Just before we kind of finish on the show, I just want to kind of go through his all again. And if you can put a message out there to the players, sponsors, anyone that's watching. I mean, Brian, start with yourself. Obviously, we need the support going down. What would be your message to people that's watching? And we'll share this as much as we can for yourselves.
Obviously, don't judge us on what's happened before. If something's been said in the past, come back and give us a chance. Like you said, Durham's a massive city, so it'll be ideal to get everyone behind us again and start helping us move forward.
Yeah, definitely. And yourself, Wayne?
Yeah, like Brian just said there, obviously we apologise for what's gone on in the past. We can't underwrite that. We've just got to move on from that. We're new. We're a Durham club. We've been formed since 1918. That's a lot of history for a non-league club. For a lot of history for a non-league club. We now need to move forward. We need to stabilise the club, and any help, supporters coming along, players wanting to come in or anything like that, or sponsors wanting to get on board or anything like that. DCAFC@sky.com, email, anything like that. Email Gary's account, he'll pick it up, and we can hopefully move on and just push on and get this season out the way and then restock and ready to go. Keep this history alive. It's a massive club and it's a massive history of non-league football.
Yeah, huge. And yourself, Gary?
Well, obviously, it's a lot of what the lads have just said there, but I mean, we've got to be honest with you, we've got to earn the respect of people as well. So we've got to do it right. We've got to do it right on the field. We've got to do it right off the field. We would like all the top players to come and sign for us. We would like all the sponsors to come and do that. We've got to earn that. We've got to be able to show that we're doing things, which is what we're trying to do. Like I say, Charlotte there's just done the new website, which is she's got some more work to do on it. She knows that, but it's looking great already, to be honest with you, compared to the one I did. But it was just to try and give information out there, because I wanted people really to know the truth and everything, and not listen to every single story and every because like in football, or if you win the lottery, you win £10 on the lottery, and a fortnight later you speak to somebody else and they won 10 million on the lottery, and the stories, they just go over the top sometimes at the end of the day. So, but what's happened. We can't do anything about what's happened in the past. We've got to move forward, but we've got to earn that respect as well. But like I say, on and off the field as well. So, but we'd just like to thank everybody really for the support, and hopefully, like I say, I mean, I can't really say anymore. Just come to the games, come and support us at the games. It might be me on the canteen because on Saturday, because we haven't got any canteen stuff. So if the cup of tea doesn't taste very nice or anything like that, you know what I mean? Or the sugar's in the coffee that shouldn't be in the coffee and everything, well, I don't mind being shouted at, you know what I mean? Just try and come down, support us if you can. Try and get to a game. And honest, we all appreciate everything. And even coming on the show tonight, I mean, very grateful. Don't mind coming back on again in a couple of months or whatever you want us to
definitely.
come back on. If you want us to come back on, see how it's going. Do you know what I mean? And no, like I said, we've got to earn the respect, and that's all we can hope for, and try and move the club forward.
Definitely. And James is asking there, is Gaz going to be playing the end of show music on that piano behind him?
I'm not being funny, but I wish that was. Well, I don't, because I cannot play the piano, but I wish it was my piano in the background. But most people will probably know. I'm to be quite honest with you, and Wayne will probably know where I'm at the minute. I'm actually sat in my car, in just outside of the house. So the wife doesn't actually know I'm on this station, because she'll probably go loopy because of every phone call and everything that's being, you know what I mean? It's just, I mean, is that football again? Is that football again? Yeah, it's football again. And yes, it's been close to I think the divorce lines hasn't been very good in the last fortnight. We'll see how that. Even the bands are not speaking to us at the minute, but I think, well, they are. But you know what I mean. I think it's just everything's just been about football. And Wayne will text us and I'll say, give us 2 minutes. Or why? I'm going to take the dog out for a walk. So I'm out walking the streets with the dog and I'm ringing Wayne back about football just so Pamela can't hear us in the house. But that's how it is. Do you know what I mean?
He's not joking either. He's not joking.
No, I'm not joking. I'm being serious. But it's like I said, if anybody, to be honest with you, really, if anybody wants to know anything and they want to know the truth or anything, just give us an email, a message. I'll tell them what's going on. We're not going to hide anything at the end of the day. If they want to have a look at the accounts, they can have a look at the accounts. That's how much. I'm not bothered. We show them everything. I mean, it just says 0, 0, 0, but I can show them it. Do you know what I mean? It's fine. But no, everybody that support's been brilliant. I mean, we can have a laugh about it, but we've got it's on a serious note. Still got a lot of hard work to do.
Mm-hmm. Well, to be honest, it was funny because, I mean, when the news was brought that the club had been saved and everything, I was walking to work last morning, I had the radio on, and Simply the Best Tina Turner came on, and that's always my memory of Durham City when I was used to go and watch the likes of Cutler English, the glory days of promotions, when they were coming out the tunnel. That was the song, and I thought, how mad is that? That song's being played literally 10 minutes after reading on the phone that the club was saved. I said, that's definitely a sign for the future as well. But I mean,
I used to play the Pink Panther. Durham,
Pink
Durham,
Panther.
Durham.
I mean, as well, there's still loads watching live. I mean, just when you mentioned, guys, before about not having kind of anything, I know there might not be a rich backer watching, but little things such as footballs, water bottles, is there any kind of things that you need, anything like that, possibly that someone could be watching, might you never know, put a donation in? You need water bottles, what type of things are you looking for?
Just as you said there, to be honest with you, I mean, I knew Wayne was going to laugh there. Wayne actually went out on Saturday because we haven't got no water bottles, so he went out and bought a crate of water for the lads. Do you know what I mean? It's once again, it's out of his own money.
Me and Brian got a crate each.
Yeah, they got the crate of water, but what we've got at the present moment, well, hopefully we're going to have this strip on Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got some cones. We've got a first aid kit. That's about it, isn't it, Wayne?
That is it. Yeah,
that's about what we've got. Do you know what I mean? We've got to go down to Labour and Grove. I'm going to try and get down there because we haven't been down there. I'm going to go down there. We don't even know what we've got in the kitchen or anything at the minute. But the likes of even cups and cartons and pop and things like that, we're going to have to buy all of that. We're just going to put a little bit of money together what we've got and buy it and hopefully sell some hot dogs and different things, what we're going to try and put on Saturday. And that's the truth. That's the honest truth. But no, I mean, on a serious note altogether, if anybody is interested, they would like to come on board and sponsor us in any way. We've just put a thing out there. I know to some clubs it might be a lot, some might not be so much, but even like £25 just to sponsor the games and things like that. Just that £25 will actually go a long way at the moment.
Definitely.
Like I say, the lads are paying money out of their Wayne and Brian at the minute. They're paying money out of their own pockets just to go training. Don't want that to happen. Do you know what I mean? We don't want to be going down that route. We want to be able to finance ourselves. We need to make our own money, but hopefully, if we can start getting results on the field as well, we'll get them people through the gate. That's all we ask for, is for people to come and support us and give us a chance. Just give us a go. And if we make a mess of it, there's only one person they can blame. They can blame me, because I'm making them fight. We have a committee and everything. Like I say, it is a committee, but I'll make that final decision at the end of the day. And they can only blame me for that, and I can only blame myself for that. So if I fail, then it's my fault. It's nobody else's fault. And we just want people to try and get behind us and follow us and try and get them results on the pitch and get the fan base, get a supporters club going and different things like that. And have these away trips. So we used to go to Celtic Nation and Penrith, and you used to have games of pool amongst yourselves and have a few pints and a laugh and watch a game of football and come back out and go to the fish shop. And you used to have them days, and they used to be brilliant days, and we want to try and bring them back. That's what we want to do. We want everybody to enjoy coming to the games.
You've seen the support on Twitter and everywhere like that. The support's massively out there. even if half of them came to one game at £3 a pop and paid to come in, that would help massively. Like I said, even if it was just one game, they came for one game and they came through it would help the club massively. And like I said, is that they're out there and they've voiced their opinions and voiced their thing on Twitter, and they're brilliant. And that's why we're here now, for them fans that we've seen on Twitter and Facebook and everywhere like that want the club saving. We've done that for them, not for us. We've done that for them so they have a club to support. Now we need them to give back to the club and support them.
No, 100%. Like I say, for myself, I can only wish you the best of luck. I mean, it's still a club that sits in my heart as well. So I'm trying to get down as much as I can. I know at the weekend, I know we're going away on Monday, so it's touch and go for that one. But what I would love to do straight away, I would love to get you the bottles, water bottles and water bottle carrier. Gary, if you send us your address, I'll literally get online first thing in the morning. I'll search somewhere online. I'll get the bottle carrier bottles. I'll get them sent to your house, and I'll try and get them before the weekend as well.
That's brilliant. Much appreciated, honest.
Not at all. Not at all. And as well, anybody that's watching, if you can help in any way, please give Gaz a message as well. Same with the channel. I mean, this is the reason why we're doing the channel. We about 400 subscribers away now from 1,000. And we've pretty much ticked all boxes. Once we get that 1,000 subscribers, to hopefully start getting a little bit payment in from adverts. And that's what we're doing the channel for. If anything that comes in from this, we want to be sponsoring players. We want to get boards up at Northern League grounds and weir-side teams and help youth football, grassroots, and that's what we're trying to do. So if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe, because once we get that 1,000, I think we're only 1,000 hours away from hitting that last milestone as well. We smashed it and hopefully start getting our support out for the non-league in financial ways as well. But again, thank you everyone that's for watching. It's been pretty much 20 plus all night, so I really appreciate your support. But to all the lads as well, Brian, Wayne and Gary, thank you so much for coming out tonight. I really appreciate your support.
Thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Wish you all the best with the station.
Excellent. But again, everyone, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't got anything on Saturday, please get down and support the lads as well. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your night. We've got a lot coming up. Busy week before I sign off for my little winter break with the family. But Wednesday night, we've got Craig Marinon, former Chester Street Town, coming on speaking about coping with retirement. Not easy for a lot of players. Thursday night, 9 p.m, Northern Premier League in Division 1 East special with Carl Morris coming on. I think Mark Hudson's going to be joining them as well. And our final session on Sunday, 7:45, looking back with Mickey Barron, former Hartlepool player, caretaker manager. Really looking forward to that one. Great lad as well. But again, thank you everyone for watching, and hope you enjoy the rest of your night as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.